I bought the close of this bar, stop down here, thinking that we're going to find support around this low and around a measured move down from this high to this low, which is around the same price as this low. So I think we're going to find support somewhere in here, and I think we're going to get back up above this low or above this sell climax high. So I was willing to buy this close and then buy more lower if we get a more clear buy signal. But I do think it's okay. I thought we have consecutive climaxes and then a pause and then a smaller climax. So I thought this qualifies as a second leg down from this breakout. And we're in a trading range, so I do think we're going to get above this low or somewhere in this area. So I thought it was reasonable to start my first position there. I have my order a little bit below this low and the sell climax high, and also a little bit below the open of the day. So I think that's a reasonable target. It's $1 above my entry. Just got filled on my 2 shares for $1, so made $2 on it. I didn't expect it to get up there that quickly, so we did end up getting up to this high and this low, but I didn't expect it to reach it in 2 bars. I thought we'd have to maybe get a breakout, pull back, and then get a second entry buy or something. That would need to create a better base, but this just accelerated up. So I'm happy with the read. I thought it was a reasonable buy for my first entry, but definitely would have had to have enough shares to buy lower because it wasn't a clear bottom. So I thought I traded that with the right size, and my stop was far away. So stop far away and needed enough shares to buy more in case we got a second entry buy somewhere here. So I'm pretty happy with that, and $2 profit. I didn't exit early. I waited for reasonable targets to be hit, so I'm pretty happy with that. And so I should mention that this buy with my stop down here, I was only risking $6, $5 or $6. So I was setting it up for a max risk of $10. And that's actually what I've been doing for this phase. A lot of my trades have been max risk $10 to $15 on my first entry. But I rarely ever add to get it to a $25 risk. So most of my trades are, I'm actually risking $10 to $15. And here, even with my scale-in trade, it would have been $10. So I'm not respecting that risk level that I wanted to have at $25. And I've mentioned this many times, but I'm rarely ever gonna enter with a stop loss right below and have a full risk of $25. My max risk of 25 means that if I happen to scale in, then I don't want to go above 25. But what ends up happening when I do that is I never get to 25, and I'm always thinking about scaling in. So I'm always trading very small on the first one. So I might risk $5 on the first one like I did today. And then if I happen to add, it'll be a $10 risk or a $15 risk. And what I want to start doing is I want to give myself a minimum as well. So I think starting in the next phase, I'm going to do a minimum risk of $15. So my first entry, no matter where it is, I have to be risking $15. I think that's going to force me to, one, take better setups, and two, it's going to force me to take the share size that I've committed to. Because a lot of times I'll look at a setup and think that it's not perfect, so I'll trade small. But clearly I'm doing something right, even with those entries that I'm taking, the smaller entries. I'm doing something right to be able to be profitable. So I need to now commit and create parameters so that I'm constantly risking in the higher tier. So for example, if I'm uncertain, my minimum risk now will be $15. So just like how right now, if I'm uncertain, I risk $5, but if I'm certain, I risk 10 or 15. From now on, starting in the next phase, if I'm uncertain, I can risk 15. and if I'm certain, I can risk 20 or 25. So I'll do minimum risk of 15 and max risk of 30. So if I feel uncertain, I want to add it. If I want to leave room to add shares, I can do 15 shares on the first entry, 15 shares on the risk $15 on the first entry and risk $15 on the second entry for a total of $30 max risk. I think it's time to really make sure that I'm risking the full amount, and I think having a $15 minimum is going to be going to be a good push in the right direction. So I'll start that at the end of this phase. I think like that's what I'm thinking of right now. So if anything changes, I'll mention it, and I'll also talk about it when I do the recap of the last 100 trades. But that's what I'm leaning towards right now, to keep myself accountable and make sure that I'm trading the right size, to not necessarily the right size, but to constantly or consistently increase my size so that I can actually end up making meaningful money and making a living from this. I can't find my comfort zone in $2 winners and expect to make it a full-time thing. So that's my thought right now. I'm glad to get this trade, and I'll look for something else.